Hey everyone, I am back with another video. I took one trade on Friday and I thought it was going to be a good one, and then I remembered a couple flaws and a couple important lessons that I'm going to go over. And yeah, so I took BA calls and it didn't work out, obviously, as you can see. But if you've been following along with BA's chart, you'll know why. If you want to pause the video real quick and just take a moment to think why calls was just a terrible idea on BA. So feel free to pause the video here real quick and then come back. And then we'll get right into the trade now. All right, so I took the key level was 216.5, and I got in right about here. Oops. I'll even look at BA here on a bigger chart. If we go here to BA, you can see that it obviously failed. I was, anticipating the break of this 216.5 level. Rocket ship technique. You guys know I love this, which, it started working out, but there's a huge reason why this play didn't work out. Yeah, so obviously my target was 218. Started working out a little bit. I thought it was, going to be a nice trade, but then once I was reviewing it, my stop loss was below 216, a close below 216, which was I actually got out right here, which was which was really really dumb on my part. I didn't wait for this 5-minute candle close, which I broke one of my rules here. So it was just a terrible trade on my part. I thought it was a good setup, a terrible trade. And then I'll explain why it was just an overall terrible setup. What I should have done is if I waited for the 5-minute candle close, I would have stopped out here and saved probably 20 cents on the contract, in fact. So I ended up losing about 16% on the contracts, which, not terrible, but not amazing by any standards. I would much rather lose at least, 10% less, 10% of the contracts rather than, that's really the goal here. But it looked like buyers were stepping in here right after, and I was like, oh my goodness, but not good. Anyway, let's take a look at YM. That's kind of what BA follows, even though BA really does its own thing. You can clearly see that it was weaker from YM. YM on the second candle had a nice strong push up, and BA kind of had struggled around this 216.5 area. And that's kind of why I thought it was looking good. We had a good push up, and we kind of just stalled out here, and BA just couldn't move past this 216 level, and we kind of sold off the rest of the day. You can even see that as soon as we broke below VWAP on YM, we just had a complete flush of BA. You could see that as soon as good spot to take puts probably would have been when we broke this YM. So right at this candle, right as we broke VWAP, because that invalidated the higher lows, YM was starting to sell off. BA was also selling off. So this actually would have been a good put play, double top, excuse me, spike volume. So this would have been a good, beautiful put setup, which should have adjusted here, but I was, long biased. So here is my mistake. One, it wasn't my own analysis, which was a huge, huge flaw. It wasn't my own idea, which is fine. But the only thing is I kind of forced it. I saw that BA had a price upgrade. We had news behind it, which I thought was a good, catalyst. And I kind of made this 216.5 key level up, which I think was my mistake. It's a decent level. Don't get me wrong. It's a decent level, but you can see that it's pretty cloudy in recent days. And it's not a true level. It's not as clean as you would hope, therefore making it less quality. But, again, not terrible. But the overall, look at the daily chart. It's weak. We are extremely weak compared to YM. If you just implant that image in your head real quick, you can see YM is trending up and breaking all-time highs. And BA is simply not doing that. We have this nice downtrend here, so that's why, really should not have been considering any kinds of longs, to be honest. It's just not my strategy. I know that some people do like to play, but it's counter trend. It's counter trend. The short term is also downtrend. You can see we're not even trending upwards at all. Not even close. So this was a terrible trade on my end. And this is what it costed me. This looked good. It could have, even though if it hit my target, it was just not a good trade at all. The reason being is I actually had NVIDIA. NVIDIA was my own analysis. No noise, no clouds or anything. It was just me looking at the charts, and it would have worked out beautifully. You can already see that the daily chart is so much better than BA. We are trending upwards. We're consolidating at all-time highs. And the key level I had was 229.5, targeting the all-time high break, and we would have gotten a premium spike, and that's exactly what happened. It would have been an amazing trade. See, that's where we got the 229.5 level. And then if we look intraday, confirmation, we bounced like to the penny nearly off this 1 hour demand zone. Strong push up. I would have entered as soon as we broke this 229.5 level. Scaled at the top, and it would have been about a 30% gain, 40% gain on the contract. Well, probably 30% gain on the contracts, and protected myself. So even though I would have liked it to see it push a little bit further, this would have been the trade of the day for me, simply because it was my analysis that I wasn't really listening to anyone else, and those are the best kinds of trades in my opinion, because that's how you learn the most. Oops, if we come over here to NVIDIA and NQ, we can see that it would have worked out. If we go to the first 5 minutes, we were coming into use supply. So I think that, if I was also, it's something to keep note. Yeah, that's just something that I would have kept in mind. It's used, so I wasn't, extremely worried about it. So I probably still would have taken the trade anyway, especially since it was showing strength here. The first candle, a huge wick, even though it's a red one, a huge wick showing that buyers stepped up at the last minute. And buyers followed through, which means that we had a huge buyer here that just wanted to push price up past all-time high. And we tagged this 45-minute used demand, which is unfortunate that, sellers were pretty strong up here, but we still continued higher in the next candle. And then as soon as I see that we failed, this large upper wick with highest volume of the day, it signifies a reversal is coming. Would have been another spot to get short here. Look at this tremendous volume on this weak candle. Boom, and then we sold off, yeah. So that would have been a great trade. Quick little scalp on that end. But yeah, so it's just something to keep in mind. Conclusions of this video, basically stating that, do your own analysis. It really does not benefit doing from anyone else's analysis and forcing the setups. And most importantly, the bigger picture. You always, always, always have to look at the bigger picture. You could have $1 million setup, but if the setup is, if the bigger picture is counter active towards your setup, it is not going to work out, half the time or a good chunk of the time, or even, it just has a lower probability. All right, well, I hope you guys learned something and don't do what I did and forget to look at the bigger picture, or just, follow someone else's analysis blindly. All right, well, good lesson for me to learn. Thank you guys for watching.